Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think might find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. I want to say thank you very much for Colin for filling in for me last week while I was down with all of the mayors from Massachusetts at the Mayor's Convention that happens once a year over on Cape Cod. Once a month, the mayors will get together in the different cities to just discuss ongoing projects, but we do have a full 3-day convention every year on Cape Cod, sponsored by the Massachusetts Municipal Association. There was a lot talked about at that. Hopefully we can take advantage of some of the projects and funding that were announced to all of the mayors at that, that the state legislature will soon be voting on. And I want to say thank you again to Colin for filling in for me last week, and hope he's enjoying his vacation that he's having this week, hiking to Machu Picchu over in Peru. So you'll see Colin soon again in the city, I'm sure, but he had to step out this week so he could have a little hiking adventure. This coming Monday, we have our annual Memorial Day Parade. We have a difference in how it's going to run this year that the Veterans Council has decided on. Rather than going from City Hall to Monument Park, groups will be organizing at the American Legion Post 129 at the Elm Street Rotary at 9:15 in the morning, and then marching from the American Legion at the Uptown Rotary to Monument Park, and the ceremony at Monument Park will begin at 10 a.m. So if you are interested in watching the parade, line up anywhere along Central Street between 9:15 and 10 a.m. and you'll see the parade go by. Thank you very much to Anne Marie Blake and the Gardner Veterans Council for putting this event on every year, and it's great to have a parade back for the first time in 3 years. With the past couple years, we've just done smaller ceremonies for Memorial Day, and this year we've got the parade back, which is, I'm sure everyone is looking forward to there. So please keep an eye out for that. In the event of inclement weather, we'll have our ceremony again here at Gardner City Hall, but it's looking like we'll have a full parade as usual. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts has put the city of Gardner under a non-essential water ban. Now, this is something that normally happens once a year, and there's normally a lot of confusion around that as well, so we want to explain what that means. Throughout the state Department of Environmental Protection Agency puts different markers on different bodies of water across the state and assigns different cities and towns to those markers. For Gardner, it's over at Pearly Brook. When I was in Rutland, it was at the Quinnipoxet River. It's different places depending on where DEP assigns your marker. And if the water level in that body of water hits a certain mark, the state puts you under a non-mandatory a mandatory non-essential watering ban until the water goes back above that mark on that measuring stick. This is something that, again, we normally see every summer, and all it means is that you cannot do certain non-essential watering tasks, such as watering your lawn, washing your car, or things like that, during peak evaporation hours. So the water ban is only in effect from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you're doing something before 9 a.m., if you want to water your lawn before 9 a.m., you have full reign to do so. If you want to do so after 5 p.m., you have full reign to do so. The reason why the water ban only takes place between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. is because that's when the sun is at its strongest, and any pooled water that could absorb back into the ground, particularly if you're watering your lawn or things like that, is going to evaporate quicker, and thus it's more of wasted water rather than used water in the long term. So that's why the ban goes into effect for that. So we are in that effect until the state lifts that for us. And again, if we get a long period of heavy rain or a period where it's cloudy for a period, that could go up if the water in Pearly Brook does reach back to the minimum level that DEP sets. However, until now, we're in that ban. The work on Pearson Boulevard is slowing down a little bit, but is still continuing. The reason being for that is that the Department of Transportation's subcontractor for granite has gone out of business. So the state does have to put in new granite curbing in that section of the city on that roadway that they just repaved. However, they can't put the final coat of pavement on until they put the curbing in. So they are working on securing a secondary contract for that granite subcontractor. Once they do that and they have the granite curbing in, they'll come back, put the curbing in, and then finish the last coat of pavement in the road. However, that project did get put on hold by DOT, and again, that is not a project that the city is overseeing because the state's granite contractor went out of business, and they are working on replacing that. If we get any further information on when that replacement will happen, we'll be sure to let you know as soon as we get any information from the Commonwealth. Our line painting has begun here in the city. If you're driving by different places where crosswalks are, or the different median lines in the road are, you'll notice that those have started to be redone. However, we do want to let people know that there may be a slight delay in the yellow lines and the white breakdown lane lines being repainted, as that's not something that the city does ourselves. We contract that service out. But we are starting to see the increases in pricing due to the different inflation caused by the pandemic and everything else going on throughout the world with the Russian invasion of Ukraine and everything else that's happening that's causing prices and inflation and fuel prices to drive up. To put this into perspective, over the past 5 years, we've spent less than $18,000 a year in our contract to paint those yellow and white roadway lane marker lines. This year, the minimum bid that we had came in at $32,000 for us to be paying that. So that's almost double what we normally pay. So we are going to have to slow down a little bit just so we can, do some in this fiscal year and some in next fiscal year, and that should be okay with us there. But we want to make sure people understand that if painting is done at a slower pace this year, not the crosswalks, but the lane lines, that's the reason why. Candor Realty had their monthly meet and greet over at their new property at 88 to 98 Main Street. That's the old Zadroga building next to the Blue Moon Diner. They are going to continue to do these meetings once a month. We've had several people contact my office asking, where are they getting the money to purchase these buildings? What are their plans for the buildings? Do they have any potential tenants that they're looking at? They answer all of these questions on a monthly basis at these meet and greets that they call Pints and Properties events. And John Bombachi, their CEO and president, is the one who hosts those events, along with his partners, Matt Permian and Todd Wheatley, as well as other people who are on their team. So if you have any questions at all about any of the development that's happening downtown, you can always feel free to contact my office or attend one of those events and ask the developers themselves. It's sure to be a lot of good happening in downtown Gardner coming up very soon. This past week, St. Paul's Episcopal Church at the corner of School Street and Cross Street dedicated their new community garden, and you can see that right on the corner of their property there, and they're installing 8 more beds this coming week. This is something that's sure to benefit the community in the long run, as all of the vegetables grown there will be used to benefit the Gardner Community Action Center over on Pleasant Street. So thank you very much to the community at St. Paul's Episcopal Church for creating that new community garden and creating a new space for the people here in the city to get together and work to do something to benefit those who are in need here in Gardner. Elm Street School had their first band concert of the year since the band was reinstated this past year. There are approximately 160 students who are in the band in its first year here. So I want to say a very special thank you to Mrs. Michelle Hefner for all of the work she's done to get that program back up and going. And a very strong congratulations to our students on having their first concert. It's always nerve-wracking at first to get up in front of a group and play your instrument, let alone for the elementary school soloists that we had in both the 3rd and 4th grade. So congratulations to those students. Please stay with music, and if it's not band, stick with chorus, general music, find another instrument like a guitar or something like that to get involved, and just find different ways to express yourselves. And if it's not in a music room, let it be in an art room or on a sports field or basketball court or something like that to express yourselves in different ways. We're working really hard to make sure that our students at Gardner Public Schools have the resources and the options available to them so that they can find really what makes them tick, so that they can go out and really find a career field eventually when they graduate high school that makes them happy and makes them enjoy their postgraduate careers, but also has a strong connection with Gardner too as a place that helped them find what they want to do with their lives. I want to say congratulations to our senior dispatcher, Adriana LeBlanc, who is our longest-serving dispatcher at the Gardner Dispatch Center. Dispatcher LeBlanc has been overseeing the operations at the dispatch center while we're waiting to hire our new dispatch director. Applications for that did close last week, and so we are going to begin the interview process for that position shortly. However, Dispatcher LeBlanc celebrated her 5th year anniversary with the City of Gardner's Dispatch Center, so she did get her 5-year service pin that dispatchers get over at the police department, and we just want to say thank you to her for all of the work that she's done, particularly in the past couple months, let alone in the past 5 years here in Gardner. Then we have a couple of events that we want to make sure everyone is aware of that are coming up. All of these events have information on the city's website, so if you require any information on these, or if you'd like to attend any of them, you're more than welcome to, and you can contact my office to find out any more information about times, dates, locations, and stuff if you forget between now and when those events happen. The John Philip Sousa Honor Band will be coming to Monument Park to host a concert on Monday, June 27th. The reason why they will come to Gardner when they normally have just a concert at Mechanics Hall in Worcester is, one, because one of their directors is Mr. Jonathan Schmidt, who is the middle school band director here in Gardner, but also because they'll be honoring the memory of composer John Philip Sousa, who's written several different famous marches, including the Stars and Stripes Forever, because back when he was still touring with his original orchestra, he held a concert over in the Orpheum Theater on Parker Street here in Gardner. So they'll be presenting the city with a memorial plaque to place in Orpheum Park to mark that John Philip Sousa conducted a concert there. That'll take place again on Monday, June 27th. This coming week, the Senior Center will have a booster COVID-19 vaccination clinic throughout the day at the Senior Center location in partnership with the Community Health Connections. Again, that's on June 1st. And then a couple of graduation events that we have happening. The Annunciation Parish is joining with several of the different churches and denominations here in the city of Gardner to do an interdenominational baccalaureate night of reflection and prayer for the graduates from high school, for not just Gardner High School, but for any of the surrounding communities as well. That'll take place on Tuesday, May 31st at 7 p.m. in Holy Rosary Church. The Senior Awards Scholarship Night will take place on June 2nd at 6:30 p.m. There is several tens, if not 50s of thousands of dollars given out at this event every year. A lot of them are endowments that were put in place from the furniture factories before they closed, but others are just people remembering different individuals in the community who helped made an impact here and endowed a scholarship in their name. We have such a generous community here in the city of Gardner that several other communities can only be jealous of the fact that we have a community that's given back to our students in such a way as this. So that again will take place on June 2nd at 6:30 p.m. And then of course we'll have the commencement graduation ceremonies on June 4th for both Gardner High School, and then immediately following the Gardner High School ceremony, the Gardner Academy ceremony. Congratulations to all of our students, not only who get awards or who get recognitions, but just for all of our students who are graduating. It's been a tough experience for the past 2 years, to say the least, for any students, and to be able to reach this final point where you can step out after your Gardner High School career and move on into whatever next steps, be it the military, the workforce, or college. We're all really proud of you, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next week in our update, but we just want to throw an early shout out to our students and our soon-to-be graduates. The annual Sidewalk sale will take place on June 25th this year. Some of you may remember the Sidewalk sale used to take place in August, but then Gardner Square 2, our downtown business association, has decided to move that for the past couple of years to the Saturday closest to Gardner's birthday. So Gardner's birthday, per the city's seal, June 25th, 1785. We are having our 237th birthday this year. So the Square 2 organization is having the Sidewalk sale on that date. And of course, we'll have the Fall Festival again in the fall. But also happening on that date is the Kendall Pond Betterment Association annual, soon-to-be annual fireworks display that'll take place to celebrate Gardner's birthday as well. That's being done in partnership with the city, the Lithuanian Outing Association, and the Polish American Citizens Club. So if you are interested in participating in that event, again, that'll take place at dusk on June 25th, but you can check out the PACC's and the Lithuanian Club's web pages and Facebook pages as well, because they'll have programming throughout the day beginning at 11 a.m. So sure to be a great day and a fun day in the city to celebrate the birthday of Gardner and get us moving forward there. I should put a plug in there too that next year is our 100th year as a city, and we will be forming a celebration committee to start planning things to celebrate our city centennial celebration. So if you are interested in participating in any of those events at all, please feel free to contact my office and we'll be able to get you some information and take your information to see if we can contact you as things come up as well. Last thing I want to mention here is that the fiscal year 2023 budget has been submitted to the Gardner City Council. They will review that over the next couple of weeks and vote on that at some point in time before the end of the month of June. Our fiscal year in any municipalities goes from July 1st to June 30th, so the City Council has until June 30th to pass the budget proposal that's there. So those meetings will be scheduled by Council President Kaczynskis as we move forward in the next couple of weeks, but we wanted to make sure people had as much of an opportunity to to review all of those as possible. We're going to begin with at least the school budget presentation that'll happen before the City Council at their June 6th meeting. And then the different subcommittees of the council will review different portions of the budget, moving on from there. However, that concludes this week's update. As always, if you have any questions on anything that was presented here today, please feel free to contact my office at any time. Please get outside and enjoy the lovely weather that we've been having here, and just find new ways to enjoy what we have to offer here in the city. And I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Thank you very much, and have a good day.